Hey guys, welcome back to my Practically Imperfect Life. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Abby. I'm a homeschooling mom of two, and this week I just wanted to show you a couple of recipes that have just been lifesavers when we have these busy seasons in life. So if you've watched any of my past videos, you know that I work a 7-day on, 7-day off schedule as a nurse, and my work hours during the week especially start at 5, which makes it really hard to be here making dinner for people. And let's throw in the mix there that my kids are both pretty active in sports, and right now we're like in the throes of basketball ramp up, and they've got practices multiple nights of the week, and they don't practice at the same time. In fact, one practices from like 5 till 6:37, the other practices from 7:30 till 9, and so we're dropping one off as we're picking the other up and just all over the place. So it's just busy, and a lot of times we're not all home at the same time for dinner. So it is helpful to have kind of some of those go-to recipes that I can either get prepared in advance and then they're just like ready for them to eat when they are home, or that can be prepped and they can throw them in the oven, or things that we can at least keep warm, whether that's in a crock pot or things like that, that they can eat as they get home from their practices. Now, that's of course not my ideal. It would be really nice if we were all home every night for dinner all together, but it's just the season of life we are in, and so we'll take it as we go. So I have 4 recipes to share with you this week, and the reason why I'm only doing 4 and not a different one each night of the week is because we usually have quite a few leftovers for each meal that we make, and we utilize those leftovers fully. So if we do dinner meals 2 nights of the week, then the 3rd night is leftovers from the previous 2 nights, and then 2 meals, and then leftovers. Plus, we'll take advantage and use those for lunches and things like that. So we don't let it go to waste. We make sure that we eat it. And with a teenage boy in the house, it's good to have extras. So we'll just jump on in and I'll show you some of the things that I made this week. And down below, I'm going to go ahead and I will put a link to all of the recipes that I have for you, and hope you enjoy. Okay, so for my first dish, I'm doing a Crockpot chicken and dumpling dish that I've made a few times before. It's nice because today it's really cold and it's snowing in the middle of October in Indiana. Hurrah. Anyways, I do have to work tonight, so it's nice because this will be done and ready for everybody to eat by about the time I need to leave for work, and so everyone can have something fresh and warm to eat, and then they can just keep it on warm until I get home from work, and then I can have something to eat too. So what you need for this is 1 can of cream of celery soup, 1 can of cream of chicken, 1 onion that you'll dice up, poultry seasoning. You need about 2 cups of like low sodium chicken broth, 4 chicken breasts, so I'm actually gonna bake the rest of them for another dish this week. Pepper. You need a bag of frozen vegetables, like the little mixes that have like peas and either peas or green beans and carrots and corn, that kind of thing. But we're not gonna get that out just yet. I'm gonna get that out after this has been cooking for about 4 hours, and I'm gonna let those thaw out a little bit. And then you do need a roll of, or like a container of biscuits. So whether that's home style or buttermilk or something like that, that you'll add near the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and dice this up, put this in the crock pot, put a couple of chicken breasts on top, and then I'm gonna mix up these other ingredients here and put them on top of the chicken, pour a little broth on top, and then I'm gonna set this on high and let this start cooking for about 4 hours before I add the rest of the ingredients. This has been cooking for about 4 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a full bag of frozen mixed vegetables. I just got my favorite mix. And then I'm gonna take a can of home-style biscuits. I don't recommend the flaky ones. I think just home-style biscuits cook up better. You're gonna flatten them out, cut them into strips, and then just lay them all across the top here. And then once we've got them all just separated and laid on there, I'm gonna put the lid back on and I'm gonna let this cook for about another hour, and then it'll be all ready to serve.
Nobody's losing.
So dinner for night number 2 is gonna be just good old-fashioned lasagna because it is very popular in the household, and it will make enough that we'll have some for lunches for a couple of days. So the recipe that I use calls for lasagna noodles. I prefer the oven ready ones so I don't have to boil them. You need 4 cups of mozzarella cheese, some Parmesan cheese, 2 cups of ricotta, and then it calls for half a pound each of ground beef and Italian sausage. So it came in 1 pound packages. So I'm actually gonna cook it all up, and I'm gonna pull out like half of it, and then I will save that and use that, like put it together in the freezer cooked, and then add it to like a spaghetti sauce at a later date. I need a can of tomato paste, an egg, a couple cloves of garlic chopped up, a diced up onion, Italian seasoning, and then you need 36 ounces of pasta sauce. I canned my own tomato sauce, so I'm just pulled out 2 cans of that. I don't add anything to my tomato sauce when I can it. I just do regular old tomato sauce. That way I can add in other seasonings as I choose. So I'll kind of cook it a bit with the meat, and then I'll taste it and see if we need to add any other seasonings to it. So I'm gonna get started by chopping up the onion and the garlic, and I'm gonna get the meat browned first. But your face remained the same. Okay, so I went ahead and I mixed together 2 cups of the ricotta, about 1.5 cups of the mozzarella, 1/4 cup of the Parmesan, and a beaten egg. And this is done. Once this is all nice and brown, we'll add the tomato in. We'll always remember how it felt. All right, got the tomato sauce, the herbs, a little bit of salt to taste, and tomato paste in there. Gonna let this simmer for about 5 minutes, and then layer everything up in there. So meat sauce, noodles, cheese over there, and then more sauce, and then just repeat. So we'll let this get simmering and get her all layered up and in the oven. Okay, so tonight's dinner needs to be easy because I have one child at basketball practice until 6:30, and then the other one needs to be at his basketball practice at 7:30. So we have a slim window where one is coming home and will want to eat, and one needs to eat before he has to head out the door. So this is a kind of like a chicken enchilada type dip. Probably the best way I can describe it. So you need 2 pounds of chicken that you shred. I have chicken breasts in there that I baked the other day. I'm just gonna shred up about 2 pounds worth. 4-ounce container of diced green chilies, and you will drain them. About 3/4 to a full cup of salsa verde, 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning, some Mexican cheese, and then 16 ounces of cottage cheese. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix everything but the cheese together in a bowl, add the shredded chicken, and then you just spray like an 11x7 pan with some cooking spray, put it all in there, put cheese on top, and then it's gonna go in the oven for about 20 minutes at 375. And then we're gonna eat that with some chips. Nobody's losing. The sparrows will be here by dawn. When we find it's over, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. All right, little cheese on top, and I'm gonna set this guy in the oven for 20 minutes at 375. And then it looks like I have some stuff to put together a quick salad as well. So we'll have some salad for some vegetables to have along with this, which is pretty packed with some protein. And it'll just be a nice, quick, easy dinner since half of us will be home at one time and half will be home at another time. And all in all, I mean, it smells good already. So let's get it baking. We'll always remember how it felt. Okay, so today's another prep ahead quick dinner because we're gonna have people gone at different places at different times. I have a meeting tonight that I'm gonna be gone for a few hours. My daughter has basketball practice, then comes home, then my son leaves for basketball practice. So everyone's gonna have to eat when they get a chance to. So this is Crockpot potato soup. This has been really popular for our family, and I make it a whole bunch of times for our church's Lenten soup and sandwich dinners. So you need one 32-ounce bag of diced potatoes, just the plain potatoes, don't get the potatoes O'Brien.
You need some bacon bits or bacon pieces. You can cook your own bacon and crumble it up if you want. I don't have time for that, so that's what I'm gonna do. You need 1 can of cream of chicken soup. I prefer the cream of chicken with herbs. I think it just adds a nice flavor. And then you need 32 ounces of chicken broth. So we're gonna put the potatoes, half the bag of bacon bits, all of the broth, and the can of soup into the crock pot, cook it on low for about 7 hours. And then about an hour to 30 minutes before I'm gonna serve it, or before I want it to be ready, I am going to cut up 8 ounces of cream cheese into cubes, put that in there, and put the rest of the bacon bits in. And then once the cream cheese has softened a bit, I'm gonna stir it up into the soup, and then you can top the whole thing with cheddar. So I'll show you that when we get to it, but we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add all of this to the crock pot. Okay, so now that the soup is almost done cooking, I am gonna take a whole block of cream cheese, and I've just cubed it up into small bits. I'm gonna add it into here and get it stirred up. Then I'll add the rest of the bacon bits, and let it go for another half hour, 45 minutes, stirring it up occasionally, top it off with some cheddar cheese, and then it's ready to eat.
All right, guys, that wraps things up for today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below to my channel so you can get notified when I post new mom life and homeschooling content. Have a great week, everybody. See you in the next one.